Can a Christian depart from the faith? I believe that a Christian can depart from the faith. First Timothy chapter 4 tells us that some will depart from the faith. So you cannot depart from something unless you was a part of it. So the Bible is clear, man. And the Bible tells us that these people are going to run to myths. They're going to run to their own desires. So these people were once in the faith, but they chose to leave their faith. Paul himself said, man, if I do not practice self-control, but if I go around and minister to like others, I will become a castaway. So Paul is saying like, man, if I do not practice self-control, if I'm just out here living in sin, like I will be disqualified. So man, like that show you that, man, a Christian can like depart from their faith, you know what I'm saying? So and even in James chapter 5 tells us that if a person wander from their faith, but if a person in Christ come back and try to save that person, bring that person to Christ, that person's soul shall be saved. So the Bible is clear that a person can depart from their faith, you know what I'm saying? Like we still have a free will. Like we have a choice to continue to walk with God, or we can choose to just depart from it, you know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ himself said, those who endure to the end shall be saved. So you have to endure. So that tells you that everybody will not endure. Some people just gonna go back to their like old ways. Some people just gonna like give up. And I want to make something clear. It's not called losing salvation. Because like if you could lose salvation, that means that you can earn it. So it's not called losing salvation. But the word for this is called apostasy. Apostasy means to abandon from your faith, you know what I'm saying? Or to depart from it. Because you gotta think about it, like we can't lose salvation, you know what I'm saying? Because we cannot earn it, you know what I'm saying? Like we cannot work for our salvation. According to Ephesians chapter 2 tells us that we are not saved by works that any man should boast. So we are not saved by our works, but we are saved by what Christ did on the cross. But we still have a choice to continue to walk with God, or we can abandon our faith. So we still have a choice, you know what I'm saying? Because we still have a choice. Like even Moses had a choice to answer God's calling. So Moses had a choice to obey God, because Moses, like he was going back and forth with God. Like he was saying like, God, I stutter and all that stuff, like but God said, look, man, so but so Moses was trying to make excuses not to answer God's calling, basically, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so we still have a choice, you know what I mean? In the book of Revelation, chapter 22, John wrote, if anybody add to this book of prophecy, or if they take away the prophecy that's in the book, God will take away his name that's written in the book of life. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a person, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, hey, it don't get no clearer than that. So, really, man, if a person abandon their faith, it's their fault, you know what I'm saying? And when I say abandon their faith, that means that they, like, I mean, it can mean so many, like, different things. Like it can mean that somebody, like they're not taking their like they're not taking their walk with Christ serious, you know what I mean? So yeah, like a person who think that they're just saved and then they can just live how they want to live, like that's not how they go, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, man. But like I said, hey, do not be deceived, do not be deceived. Continue to trust in God, trust in Christ, and God bless you. All right.